There's a specific kind of fear that runs quietly underneath most of your decisions. The fear of losing what you have. It's why you stay in the job that's slowly draining you, why you don't say the honest thing, why you cling and play small and choose the safe path even when the safe path is killing something in you. Underneath it all is one whispered question. What if I lost this and couldn't handle it? The Stoics had a strange, almost backwards answer to that fear. They didn't try to reassure themselves that they'd never lose anything. Instead, they went and practiced losing it on purpose while they were still safe. They called it voluntary discomfort, and it might be the most counterintuitive thing they ever did. This is the unbothered Stoic. One ancient idea made usable every week. Today, voluntary discomfort. The strange Stoic practice of rehearsing loss on purpose and how it quietly kills the fear running most of your decisions. Here's what it looked like. Seneca, one of the richest men in Rome, would regularly set aside his wealth. For a few days, he'd eat the plainest food, wear the roughest clothes, sleep on the hard floor. And then, he wrote, he would ask himself one question. Is this the condition that I feared? Rich man, on the floor, cheap bread, asking his own fear to show its face. And every time, the answer came back the same. This is fine, I can handle this. It's not the disaster I imagined. Here's the core idea I want you to carry out of this video. You are not afraid of hardship. You're afraid of your imagination of hardship. The thing you're truly scared of almost never happens. What actually runs your life is the picture in your head of how unbearable it would be. And that picture is always worse than reality because it's built by fear in the dark with no facts. Voluntary discomfort drags the picture into the light. You go and touch the thing you dread in a small, safe dose, and you discover it's survivable. And a fear you've survived on purpose loses almost all its power over you. If that's landing for you, hit like. It helps this reach someone whose whole life is being quietly run by a fear they've never actually tested. Then let's make it real, because this is a practice. And reading about it changes nothing. Doing it changes everything. 3 exercises, all Stoic, all safe, all usable this week. The first is the small, deliberate hardship. Choose one comfort and skip it on purpose. Take the cold shower. Skip the snack you don't need. Walk instead of ride. Sit with being a little bored, a little hungry, a little cold when you could easily fix it. The point isn't suffering. The point is proof. Every time you voluntarily choose discomfort and come out fine, you're sending your nervous system a message. We can handle more than we thought. Do it enough. And the background fear starts to quiet down because you keep showing it evidence that it's wrong. The second exercise is rehearsing the loss in your mind. Take something you're afraid of losing, the job, the relationship, the status, and calmly imagine life without it. Not to be morbid, to investigate, play it forward. If this were gone, what would I actually do? How would I rebuild? Seneca did this constantly, and he found that the mind, once it stops flinching and actually looks, almost always discovers a plan. The fear says you'd be destroyed. The honest rehearsal says you'd grieve and then you'd adapt because humans adapt. Knowing that in advance is what lets you stop clutching. The third exercise is doing the thing you're avoiding on purpose while it's small. Fear grows in avoidance and shrinks in contact. So find one small version of a thing you're scared of and go touch it deliberately. Scared of looking foolish? Ask the dumb question out loud. Scared of rejection? Make the small ask you've been dodging. You're not throwing yourself off a cliff. You're taking the discomfort in a dose you can handle so your body learns the truth the Stoics kept proving. The dreaded thing met head on is smaller than its shadow. Now let me be honest with you because this gets misunderstood. Voluntary discomfort is not about becoming hard, cold, or punishing yourself. The Stoics weren't masochists. Seneca went back to his comfortable life after those few rough days, and he enjoyed it. Maybe more than before. The practice isn't about hating comfort. It's about not being owned by it. There's a huge difference between enjoying what you have and being terrified of losing it. This practice is how you keep the first and drop the second. And it's not about seeking out real suffering. You don't need to manufacture tragedy. Life provides enough. This is about small chosen doses on your terms while you're safe, so that when life hands you the uninvited version, you've already met its smaller cousin and you're not starting from zero. Here's the promise the Stoics kept finding. The person who has practiced losing everything is the hardest person in the world to threaten. Think about it. Most control over you runs through fear of loss. The fear keeps you obedient, cautious, quiet. But someone who has sat on the floor and eaten the plain bread and found out they were fine, that person can't be threatened the same way. They've already looked their worst case in the eye and lived. Seneca put it exactly. The man who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive. That's the whole prize. Not a life without loss. A self that loss can't shatter. So this week, choose one small discomfort. Take the cold water, skip the easy thing, rehearse the loss you're most afraid of, calmly, on paper, and notice what Seneca noticed every single time. This is not the disaster I imagined. I can handle this. I was always going to be able to handle this. I want to hear this one. And I read every comment. What's one small discomfort you could practice this week to prove to yourself you'd be okay? Commit to it below. Saying it out loud makes it real. The next video is about the resource all this fear and wanting is quietly stealing from you, the only one you can never earn back. Seneca wrote that we act as if we'll live forever, and it's the most expensive mistake a human can make. It's time to talk about time. Subscribe and stay. We're building this calm, one idea at a time.